How is anybody acting surprised about this? Genuinely. Didn't we all find out like 3 years ago that Matt Gaetz had sex with an underage girl? I feel, if I remember right, like the excuse was that he was lied to about her age. But like didn't he literally have sex with an underage sex trafficking victim? And his only excuse was, I didn't know, they lied to me. I didn't know that the girl was underage. Didn't that like literally happen? And ended up being like big news for a week? Maybe I'm misremembering, but I could have sworn that was what happened. And it was big news for like 7 days. Anyway, Matt Gaetz was the Attorney General pick for Donald Trump's cabinet. Big news when it hit. A lot of people quite upset about it, obviously. But now he's stepping down. Because it turns out that was far from being the craziest thing in Matt Gaetz's history. Man's got some skeletons in his closet, and some of those skeletons came out to play. And, well, before Trump's administration could even take power, he's having to cull some problematic individuals from his cabinet. To be fair, though, Matt Gaetz apparently chose himself to step down here, but that is also exactly what he would have said if Trump made him step down. So, we'll see how this goes, but what a shining example of the type of people that Donald Trump has hired to work in his government. Let's watch.
We are following breaking news out of Washington. Just moments ago, former Congressman Matt Gaetz announced in a post on X he is withdrawing himself from consideration to be President-elect Donald Trump's pick for Attorney General. NBC News Justice reporter Ryan Riley is following this breaking news for us. Ryan, Gaetz was just on Capitol Hill meeting with senators yesterday. Elon Musk and others were rallying, trying to get Republican senators.
Have you guys seen that one, like, giga cringe image? Trump and Elon playing McDonald's. I need to show you guys the most, like, cursed image of all time. Let me just show you a picture of the people who now run our country. I just need you guys to see this image. No, this is not fake. They took this photo of them eating McDonald's on Trump's private jet after the election results came out. This was their celebratory meal. RFK does not know what's happening or where he is, obviously. God damn, this is so... It looks like a YouTuber meetup. And you want to know why it looks like a YouTuber meetup? Because all 5 of these people are literally just, like, personalities. Like, right-wing populist, like, internet personalities that got big online and through TV. And so, when they sit down together... And mind you, the American people are cheering at this image because it looks like a podcast. When I say this looks like a group of podcast bros, I say it insultingly. When the American people see it, though, and they hear it, it's a compliment. I love the nice wrapped forks and knives for their eating McDonald's. Like they're not going to eat this with their hands. Like, who the fuck isn't going to eat these? If I get invited to eat McDonald's with Donald Trump and he insists I cut my burger into pieces, we're going to have a problem. Like, completely separate from politics. We're going to have a fucking problem if Trump tries to make me eat a burger by cutting it into pieces with a fork and knife, like the British do. I will lose my fucking mind if that is how my president eats burgers. Separate from all the political disagreements, if our president eats burgers with a fork and knife, we need to have a civil war. Like, we need to go back to being a real country if we elected a man who eats burgers like that. Because what the fuck? Fries and burgers? Fork and knife? Why? He eats his pizza with a fork and knife? What did we just do? Trump should have lost on those grounds alone. That's just anti-American. You're not British, Trump. Use your hands, bitch. Damn. Okay. Anyway, I just thought I'd draw attention to the little group of misfits running our country now.
Behind this nomination, what is Gaetz saying today?
He's saying that he doesn't want to distract from the Trump-Vance team's goals and what they want to get done in the coming years. I think one of the important things to note here is that senators were very...
There's a real news story. He eats KFC with a fork and knife too. Dude, I might just have to. I think I'll move to Canada. America doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't. America no longer exists. We've become Russia/Canada light. I might as well move to Canada. I genuinely argue Canada's more American than us now, because I'm pretty sure Justin Trudeau would eat a burger with his hands like a normal person.
Very reluctant to sort of be the first to stick their neck out and say that he wasn't going to get through. But I think clearly we can surmise based on
Zan, please come to Mexico. Yeah, I'd be down to go to Mexico. Sounds pretty based there.
his meetings that this would have been a really uphill battle for him and perhaps wasn't even in the cards at all for him to get actually through confirmation here. It would have been an extraordinary set of circumstances, events. This has been a trickle that's been coming out. There's more information coming out, by the hour, by the day about this investigation. And, we had the New York Times story last night that.
Why is it that, conservative pundits like this always look the part? Look at this dude. You would not let this man babysit your kids. Once you saw him, you'd just be like, oh, whoa, something just came up. I got to stay home. Sorry. Yeah, have a good one. And then you would find a different babysitter. Let's be real here. I mean, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but Matt Gaetz, well, Matt Walsh too, but Matt Gaetz looks like a rapist. If I see a dude who looks like Matt Gaetz, I get the Hank Hill, whoa, shivers up my spine, because my body is giving me a subconscious reaction to someone so creepy. He has rape eyebrows. Those are rapist eyebrows. I'm sorry. If you have those eyebrows, get rid of them. Shave them and draw them on, because if you're not a rapist, you should not want to look like that. Why would he let his eyebrows do that?
Showed a lot of these connections. We've had some incredible.
It's the Botox. You're not wrong, scapegoat. It's with these people. It's always the Botox that makes them look so demonic into their 40s and 50s, doesn't it?
Reporting at NBC News about some of the victims in this case, and it would have gotten extremely, extremely ugly. So now what we're not going to see is a target of a criminal investigation in recent Justice Department history take the reins of the Justice Department himself in the coming months.
A couple questions here. Have we heard anything from President-elect Trump? This was his pick. And also,
have you ever noticed, by the way, so many conservative pundits have the same, just physiognomy, whatever the term is for, the face structure thing? Particularly these, swooping upwards eyebrows. Have you noticed this is really common with conservative pundits? Actually, what I would like to do is get a, get the headshots of every popular conservative pundit and then just screen cap their eyes and eyebrows and just post side by sides of all of them. They have the same eyes and faces. And you want to know why I think that? Do you want to know why I think this look, just cover everything but those eyebrows and eyes up? That particular look in the eyes is so popular with conservative pundits, is that there is this smugness. They have sort of a resting, J.D. Vance has the same type of eyebrows, for an idea of what I'm talking about. It's the smugness inherent in their resting face, where everything they say, and when they say it, it looks like they're saying it to trigger the libs. They're making their most smug face constantly. And the more smug you can be as a conservative, the more successful you will be, because nothing pisses off those that disagree with you more than being smug and wrong. And so people like Matt Gaetz, Ben Shapiro, J.D. Vance, they succeed because their faces upset progressives, not just what they have to say and do.
Himself in the coming months.
I really feel like there's so much psychology to be gained from the eyes of these people. Look. Tell me you have not seen these same pairs of eyes 100 times on these people's faces.
Couple questions here. Have we heard anything from President-elect Trump? This was his pick. And also, do we have a sense of who other contenders may be who might replace Gaetz in this position then?
Yeah.
There is literally an image of J.D. Vance and Gaetz right next to each other. Can you not tell exactly what I mean when I say this now? They have the same physiognomy. I'm pretty sure Gaetz will look the same as J.D. Vance when he gets to J.D. Vance's age. Their eyes in particular are the same, bro.
Who other contenders may
Same smile,
be
too.
who might replace Gaetz in this position then?
Yeah, it's a great question. I haven't seen any reaction yet from.
And among conservative women, it's always blonde bimbos. It's always doughy-eyed blonde bimbos every time. Doughy-eyed blonde bimbos from the Midwest or Canada. Midwest or Canada. Doughy-eyed blonde bimbos. Those things always checked off. Or Russia. And there you go. You've got yourself like your average conservative female pundit.
From Donald Trump, but I haven't looked at my phone in the past couple of minutes. I'm sure we'll see something from him soon if he hasn't already. But in terms of the next pick, I think actually the next person in line naturally would be the Deputy Attorney General nominee, which is Todd Blanche, who's the criminal defense lawyer for Donald Trump in his in his.
And if they are a brunette, they're always wearing glasses. Always. From Boebert to fucking Palin. They're always wearing glasses.
Case in New York, and that's a pick that is sort of more quote normie within the normal realm here because he's someone with a lot of history at the Justice Department. He's a former federal prosecutor. He did a lot of these violent crime cases, so he has certainly the experience, the resume, and the background that you would expect of someone who is going to be nominated to take over the Justice Department. But of course, there is that very close relationship he has with Donald Trump, and just the historical oddity of having a criminal defendant president put in place at the top of the Justice Department, his criminal defense attorney.
Like, seriously, how is Matt... Like, I genuinely feel like Matt Gaetz could have been an actor and just been typecast as a villain and everything. Like, he's just got this look. Like, I could totally imagine Matt Gaetz having a successful career in Hollywood as, like, a B-list celebrity where he's just typecast as a villain. Like, a creepy white guy villain. If he was willing to take that role in countless, like, things, he would play it perfectly. He's got the look for it, you know what I mean? Like, you know how some actors get typecast into certain types of characters because they have a certain look to them? You know what I mean? Like, he could totally own a certain character in terms of, like, typecasted vibe, right? Like, he could play the evil, hateable, punchable face white guy villain in so many TV shows and have that market fucking cornered, dude. Just like Giancarlo Esposito has, like, that particular typecast that he's always cast. He's always Gus. If you're going to have a villain that's anywhere close to Gus in Breaking Bad, Giancarlo Esposito is the guy you cast, right? Matt Gaetz could be that too. You know what I mean? He'd make a great demon in Supernatural. Oh, you're cooking with that one, Princess Kristinoke. You are. He would make a good demon in Supernatural. Like some, like, low underling of Crowley or something. Yeah.
Attorney. So it certainly is a little bit strange, but I think certainly within the halls of the Justice Department right now, there's a huge sigh of relief for folks who are really worried about what that was going to look like with Matt Gaetz coming in as Attorney General. Yeah. Even if it does end up being Donald Trump's criminal defense attorney, I think that's going to be, for them, for people within the DOJ, that's going to be a lot better set of circumstances.
Todd Blanche, a normie, in your words, and maybe a not normie situation. We know Gaetz resigned from his post in Congress, presumably so he could become the Attorney General after being chosen. So what does this mean for him? He can't rejoin Congress, right?
Right. And the timing here is so critical because actually, overall, I think this was actually Matt Gaetz's best path, because if he had stayed in Congress, that report, that incredibly damning report from what we've heard, was going to come out. And so instead he gets nominated to be the Attorney General of the United States. Oops, no longer, you can't get that report out anymore. This trickle. And now, I expect he already has a podcast, right? You can sort of read the tea leaves and see where this is going to go.
What a great way to put it. He already has a podcast. You can kind of read the tea leaves and see where this is going to go. Yep. Conservative internet grifter. By end of year 2025, easy.
I suspect he'll be in sort of a more Steve Bannon-like position. He'll probably continue with that podcast, be a bombastic person sort of on the outside supporting Donald Trump and, claiming he was a victim of the deep state or what have you. It's sort of a predictable path I think we can see Matt Gaetz going to, because he's already sort of been that figure on his own, even when he was in Congress. He's been this very, out there, forward person who's really just, a lot of big on media, was partnered closely with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and, sort of an influencer within Congress, kind of. So I suspect we know where that is going to end, but, only time will tell. But
Isn't it crazy how AOC, like, probably the closest you could really point to as like a figure on the left in the Democratic Party who has the kind of like following and cult of personality that a right-wing figure has. But the only reason AOC has that isn't because she like clickbaited on the internet and like made rage posts. She just is the most popular politician maybe in the world. I may be wrong about this, but is AOC not like one of the world's most popular politicians, if not the most popular? Like, she's so popular, mind you, that the Trump voters in New York voted for her too. They voted Trump for president and then AOC for their congressional representative. So it's like, she's so popular, they like her across the aisle. AOC had to earn her following by just having policy and doing her job so well that she has maintained a very broad popularity, making her one of the most liked politicians ever, period, globally. And yet for people like this, they just got a path to like a successful podcast once they get like kicked out of government for like passing around CP to other people in Congress or whatever. Like, it's wild. You literally, to get the following anything close to this as a Dem, you have to be the most popular politician in the world and otherwise be a Republican.
I strongly suspect we're going to see him be hosting a podcast or, have some sort of role in the MAGA universe.
So, Ryan, Matt Gaetz has taken himself out of the running for this attorney general position. We have yet to hear from the president-elect. Presumably, this is a decision that he would have given.
Mind you, the fact that AOC is like so well liked just across the aisle really does go to show that like her rhetoric and her policy is what can actually win the Dems elections. I would love to see. I want AOC to be America's first female president. A part of me is glad Harris didn't get that position because I feel like AOC deserves it more and she will win. Like AOC's rhetoric, I don't care how racist and sexist the rhetoric against AOC would be if she ran when she's old enough. Dude, AOC is so popular. All she has to do is win the primaries, and I feel like she'd win the primaries. Like hard, dude. Like hard. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like AOC would dominate, just based on how popular she is.
Given his blessing to. Bring us up to speed on where the other nominations stand, and have we gotten any new names for any new positions today? Because it's been coming pretty fast and furious.
AOC isn't popular with the money, though. That's the problem. That's definitely a holdup, TR, but neither are the Democrats. Like, the narrative about the Dems having massive corporate funding is genuinely, like, it's a lie. The Dems, like, as far as corporate funding, have nothing. Some companies will donate to the Democratic Party because it's seen as, like, backing the values that are more popular with their supporter base. It's why, like, a very good example would be, what's his name? Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg, who originally, with his wife, started a charity centered around helping people get registered to vote, has shut that down and now refuses to do anything that a Dem administration asks Facebook to do in terms of, like, taking down misinfo or, like, Hunter Biden's dick or whatever. So, like, a lot of companies run by people who have no progressive values will, like, fake support the Dems for the messaging, the aesthetic, the optics. But outside of that, the Dems lack a lot of corporate funding. It's mostly grassroots funding compared to the Republicans, which have, like, the entire corporate landscape fully backing them. The Dems have already been massively disadvantaged financially in the world of, like, corporate financed politics for a long time. I don't actually think AOC being the nominee would change much. I think the Dems would rely just as much on grassroots donations and volunteer canvassing as they already do. Remember, the Republicans have so much money, they'll just bribe $1 million a day in swing states to people to vote for Trump. The Dems have to get people to volunteer for free to knock doors, okay? That alone tells you the level of money the Republicans are working with compared to the Dems. It's apples to oranges, bro. Not even close.
It has. And, I've been mostly focused on the Gaetz thing, full disclosure. So that's, the Justice Department is where my realm is. But there's certainly been, a lot of these nominees that are continuing to trickle in. I think, obviously, the big question now is who is going to be that next Attorney General pick. Todd Blanche is, because right now he's the Deputy Attorney General nominee on paper. Does he end up being the Attorney General nominee? What happens next?
As far as you know, there are no investigations against Blanche. There are not any obvious skeletons in the closet.
No, and he has a good reputation. I think, within SDNY, within the Southern District of New York, within the Justice Department community at large, obviously is pretty hard charging during when he was defending Donald Trump. But, this is someone who I think, was in the position at a big law firm and then decided to step out on his own and, align himself with Donald Trump. But it still is someone who I think was brought up in that institutional knowledge. And certainly, I think the way that when I've been talking to folks within DOJ about this, it's like he has a line, right? And that's the more important thing, whereas that wasn't the belief about Matt Gaetz.
Vaughn, I'll start with you. I know we have new
So Matt Gaetz is now cooked. He's out. He's out of Congress. He's not getting the Attorney General position. He's cooked. Thank God, am I right? Obviously, he's still going to be around, like, yapping on the sidelines and pushing for conservative politics as, like, a right-wing podcast or whatever. But he's done. His career's done. He's genuinely cooked. Isn't it nice that this early we're already getting, I guess not happy endings, but happy conclusions to the stories of some of these awful people? I need you to realize that this happening less than a month after the election results come out is very, very representative of how the next 4 years are going to go. Expect Trump's cabinet to change faces and names constantly. If anyone goes against Trump, they will get fired. If anyone says something Trump doesn't like, they'll get fired. If anyone makes him look bad, they'll get fired. Expect a lot of people to get fired in the coming years and replaced, especially after scathing allegations of sexual impropriety come out about them. Because believe me, a sea of those are about to be coming out to the public in the coming years. Oh boy. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this segment, if you thought it was entertaining, educational, or enjoyable, consider casting a blue ballot for me over at YouTube by putting a like on this video or this stream if you're watching live, of course, and comment down below as well, even if it's something silly and pointless. It does help the channel immensely when you like and comment, and same goes for subscribing so that YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload new videos. And of course, if you want to see more from me on other platforms, you should definitely consider following my social medias linked down below, especially my new Blue Sky account, and joining my fan Discord server, linked down below in the description as well. It's the main hub of my fan base, and I host gaming events, call-in streams, or watch parties there at least once a week, and announce all my new uploads and streams there. So if you really want to be a part of, like, the community, you want to make sure to join the Discord. Links are, of course, in the description of all my streams and videos. And of course, finally, if you want to support me directly, you can afford it and you feel like it, then consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, YouTube, Patreon, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, or buying some merch through the Streamlabs link down below in the description as well. I do have merch. But with all that said, regardless of how you support me, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good one.